So I acted like I was done talking about the Hunter Biden showing up on Capitol Hill, Republicans losing their minds, Marjorie Greene being humiliated story. But I have more. I came across something else, actually a couple of things I want to discuss in relation to Marjorie Greene specifically. We'll get to a moment from an interview she did after all of this took place where she's coping so much because I feel like even an impartial observer could say this went really poorly for Republicans and Marjorie Greene specifically. And Hunter Biden, as I've said multiple times today, he won, y'all lost. Okay, that's how this day went. It's okay, it happens sometimes, but you just got to deal with that fact and then move on. But of course, Marjorie Greene doesn't. And so she stoops to a low. I've said before, every time I think that she's gone as low as she's going to go, she can go lower. And I'll show you that in a little bit. First, the context. Here's the moment that made her so upset. Actually, backtrack, more context. Hunter Biden shows up at this hearing where Republicans are going to be deciding on if they hold Hunter Biden in criminal contempt of Congress because he defied their subpoena. He says, I will show up and testify, but it has to be publicly. It can't be a closed door deposition because Republicans have a very recent track record of manipulating private testimony, specifically with Devin Archer, for example. So Hunter Biden does this, shows up during this hearing unexpectedly. It was just totally wonderful. And Republicans didn't really know how to deal with it. And then he chose to leave at a very particular time. Again, we'll get to the new stuff that I haven't gone over yet, but first, this.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Greene from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently, you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
Okay, so it's too bad. I don't know why that makes me laugh every time. And then a desperate, embarrassed Marjorie Greene resorts to what she does best, which is showing nudes of Hunter Biden in Congress on live television. I think enough is blocked off there, but let's just skip forward to where some sanity jumps in.
Before this committee, without any notice to anyone, nude photos, pornographic images that were completely irrelevant to the purpose of the hearing itself. And my question to you is, are members allowed to simply put up sensationalistic, voyeuristic, pornographic images if they're not relevant to the actual object of the legislative proceeding? I want a parliamentary ruling on that.
Mr. Askin, that's probably part of the questioning for.
Okay, so that happened. Again, this is not a clip I'm playing from months ago when she did it the first time. Was widely condemned for it. She's again obsessively, creepily, weirdly, whatever word you want to use, horribly, showing revenge porn, essentially, of Hunter Biden. Oh, there's little black bars that block out some stuff. It's so weird. Marjorie Greene is being so dang vile. Now, one more clip before getting to the Marjorie Greene interview moment. This is Jared Moskowitz also calling out Marjorie Taylor Greene and taking it as an opportunity to say, if you want to do this, you want to start showing things and making allegations, we can do it.
And so, again, because the gentle lady from Georgia, I know is such an advocate for women's rights, as she mentioned, and is so concerned about grooming, and apparently we don't have any standards here anymore. Again, I just want to remind my colleagues, because, you know, I don't want them to forget about hypocrisy, okay? I don't want them to forget about hypocrisy, but, you know, Donald Trump was...
So for our podcast listeners, he's holding up a poster of Trump with Jeffrey Epstein.
Asked about Jeffrey Epstein, and when he was asked, he said, you know, Jeffrey likes him young. Well, how did the president know that? How did he know that Jeffrey Epstein likes him young? Perhaps some people are saying he was there since you're so concerned, right? But again, I bring this up not to make jest. I bring it
Point
up.
of order, Mr. Chairman.
I bring it up. I thought we weren't going to interrupt.
We're going to stop the clock. We did this with Ms.
Okay.
Green. State your point.
Yeah, I'm just curious about the impugning of the former president's character. That we
Oh. Now we're concerned about the impugning of people's character? What was just being shown by the congresswoman from Georgia?
I don't have to do that. He does that himself.
have we
Oh, I spoke over that good line from Jared Moskowitz.
I'm just curious about the impugning of the former president's character. That we
I don't have to do that. He does that himself.
Have we basically thrown that rule out? I'm just curious, or are we going to follow that?
Would
rule?
you accept a pornographic photo?
Of Bill Clinton?
Yeah, we suspended the rule to the current president.
We suspended the rule to the current president? Is that what he said? Oh, it's so ridiculous. Okay. So great job to Democrats. They've been just crushing it today. And last thing I'll say before watching Marjorie Greene just cope so much. No, really, it was the left that suffered the humiliation today. I know that in this YouTube online world in which we live, we use terms like humiliation, crushed, demolished, destroyed, buried a lot. I think this is the epitome of all those terms. Today was actually pretty much as bad as it could have gone for Republicans and was humiliating. I don't think very many people, except for people watching exclusively Fox News, nothing else, tuning out everything else, or exclusively Newsmax or OAN, but anyone who even slightly tunes into reasonable networks, I don't think they walk away from this thinking Republicans were being reasonable and Hunter Biden is the one who, you know, is the antagonist in this story. I think that's pretty clear. With that being said, here's Marjorie Greene, desperate, embarrassed, as I said previously, deciding to mock essentially the past of drug addiction when it comes to Hunter Biden.
Well, that's my next question. What did he
Oh, and this is with Alex Jones. Where else would you go after a day like that than Alex Jones's show?
think he would do, not showing up at the first hearing, doing a stunt, and then now showing up, and as soon as you ask him a serious question, he turns and runs? I mean, he looked like he was on a lot of cocaine, like Tony Montana at the end of Scarface.
He did. He looked like he was on drugs. His eyes were very wild. He shifted his eyes a lot. I think he's trying to play the victim of Republicans, but he can't play the victim. The Trump family, Eric, Don Jr., Ivanka, they all had to come in, and they sat for these subpoenas and were questioned for over 8 hours each by Democrats here on Democrat-controlled committees. The Trump family obeys the law, and that's the clear
Right.
difference in the Biden family. And Hunter Biden has a serious history of drug use. I don't know if he was on drugs today, but I definitely question it. And it was evident in his behavior and the way he looked.
So it wasn't. Okay, it just was. Watch any clips from that day you want. It wasn't evident that he was on drugs. That is proof that she has nothing. Make an argument. Make an actual substantive argument as to why you're correct. Not, he was on drugs, I don't know. Or Alex Jones saying, he looked like he was on cocaine. He was drugged up, that's why he embarrassed you like that. Ooh, that really hurts the throat. And this is something that right-wing reporters were shouting at Hunter Biden as well.
Could you please, I'll answer your question if you be quiet and let me make a statement, okay? What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? Let me.
So I'm being lighthearted, but it's sick. It's so disgusting to whatever your political views, mock and make light of, because they don't actually think this. They're just saying it to jab Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. Drug addiction. It is a serious disease and a serious subject. And because of your hatred for the Bidens, mock that and ridicule that is pretty vile. What type of crack do you use? That reporter was saying, or Marjorie Greene just randomly accusing Hunter Biden with no evidence of being on drugs during this situation. Based on the behavior of Hunter Biden and Democrats versus Republicans during that hearing, if one side was on drugs, it wasn't the left. It was Hunter Biden. No, I don't think anybody was. But again, their behavior was erratic. Someone on drugs might think, I'm going to show someone's nudes on live TV. That might be a drugged up thing, I guess you could do. If you're on cocaine. I know, it's not really a good impression. Kind of hard to do. But there it is. Marjorie Greene, after a brutal day, I have a bonus clip to show you in just a second, but after a brutal day for her and her party, accusing Hunter Biden of being on drugs. Again, she's proving by doing that it was a disaster for her. If she had the facts on her side, she would just argue the facts. She wouldn't have to make up these baseless things. But then again, this entire investigation is based on baseless allegations. Bonus clip, take a look at the powerhouse, Paul Gosar. The facts on his side. Not so much. Bring in the receipts. A pretty simple question from Jamie Raskin. Mr. Gosar, for the 6 people in America that are still watching or hearing this right at the end, can you state what the presidential crime is? Okay, what is it for the American people to know that Joe Biden is guilty of? And Paul Gosar brings the facts, is what I was going to say. Struggles.
To Gosar, for the 6 people in America who are still watching or hearing, could you just explicate what you think the presidential crime is?
Oh, I'm just saying right now, we're just talking about the facts. The facts here are misplayed. I mean, you complain about us, I'm going to complain about you because you're distorting the facts.
That's pretty hard to argue with. This clip, as it was circulating, you can see here the transcript, quote unquote, as it was outlined, was Raskin. Mr. Gosar, for the 6 people in America that are still watching or hearing, can you state what the presidential crime is? Gosar, I'm just saying. And then he says, we have the facts. And you're complaining about us, I'm complaining about you. Well, I don't know if that's moving the ball down the field, we'll say, at all with your investigation. But what a day. I promise that's my last video. At least I'll talk about today on this subject. My goodness. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button. Also, the bell. Is it called the alert bell? Next to the subscribe button. Lately, I've been noticing a lot of y'all have been seeing the initial notifications. And so maybe if you click that, it can help. Just keep up with the channel if you can. Watch the videos, share them around, all that good stuff. Plus, if you're feeling just super passionate about your support for the show, you can go to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. And that is a way to support the show. Plus, support yourself by getting the daily bonus show, which is a delight. Today, we had a ball. We had a true ball. It was very fun. So that's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. And I'll talk to you next time.